Alright, welcome to another video. For those of you who have seen the As Above, So Too Below series, you know what that picture was all about. What we're looking at here is a mirror image of that picture, which is the symbolic representation of Lucifer, the light bearer, entering into the Genesis event, which is the beginning that we have recorded in the Hebrew Bible. Now, Lucifer is symbolized as the light bearer, and this is being symbolized as the beginning, Genesis, by the greater light, which is the sun, and the lesser light, which is the moon. And then, of course, we have the symbol for Lucifer, the light bearer, being the G, and of course, the I. Now, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about why the Illuminati use the left eye for the symbol. And that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at the left eye, and it's the same left eye that you can find on the Great Seal of the $1 bill. So, incredibly enough, what we have is some biblical scripture that is going to support why they are using the symbol of the left eye, and it's going to be found in the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 17. Now, when we talk about this verse here, we are going to see the Antichrist. That's right, the Antichrist is being depicted as the idol shepherd. Remember, he is trying to reflect or mirror Christ, but he can only reflect or mirror Christ as the illusion. So you're going to see that we have the idol shepherd, which is the Antichrist, and then we have the symbolism, which is going to be talked about, the eyes. You're going to hear that the right eye is utterly darkened, which is leaving only the left eye for them to see. And we're going to explain that in detail. So what we want to do is go ahead and read right now verse 17 out of chapter 11 for the book of Zechariah. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm and upon his right eye. I'm going to turn the page. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Now, if the right eye has been utterly darkened, the only thing that's left to see from is the left eye. And that is why we see them using this symbolism right here. Now, you know, this is going to really open up a lot of understanding. Okay, first off, there are grave implications here that when they are using the left eye, that means that they are using the right side of their brain. Okay, so we see that the left eye is controlled by the right brain function, and that the right eye is controlled by the left brain function. So as you see that the Illuminati or the illuminated see through the left eye, which is controlled by the right brain function, the right eye is being darkened. It is being blinded. And this is what they don't want to see through. They do not want to see through the left side of the brain. That is why they utterly darken this function. And this is the function that they want us to use. Now, I can explain that simply. If you research some of the early history concerning, education in this country, you're going to find out that it was almost forced that children were supposed to use their right hand in school, which would force them to use their left side of the brain. Force them to use that, and we'll talk about that when I come back. Alright, welcome back. So basically, it's nothing short of brainwashing. Now, like I said, they really were forcing the issue in the past, in this country at least, for using the right hand, which forces you to predominantly use the left side of your brain. Okay, so that has everything to do with why they have utterly, or it is symbolically referenced in the Bible, that their right eye is utterly darkened. And that's why you see all the hip-hop stars, or at least the ones associated with the hidden mystery Babylon religion, and then you see the entertainment industry, and they are covering their right eye to expose the left eye, which is symbolically saying that they are using the right brain function. So anybody in their mind that is using the left brain function is blinded. Anybody that is using the right brain function is illuminated. All right, so let's look at this here and look at the comparisons. Everything on this right side is going to have to do with what the left brain function controls. And then everything here on this side is what the right brain function controls. So you know now, because they wanted the children to be predominantly right-handed, that they were really trying to brainwash and force us or pigeonhole us into using this left side of the brain. So while they use feeling, they want us to only know logic. While they see the big picture, they want us to be detail-orientated. While they understand that imagination rules, they want us to only see facts rule. And remember, they give us those facts. While they see symbols and images and all of the information that can convey fast, we are constricted with words and language. They understand the present and the future, while we only understand the present and the past. They go by philosophy and religion, and they want us to go only by math and science. See, that's what's funny. They teach us outwardly that spirituality and religion are bad, but behind closed doors, they're gobbling it up. They are eating it up, and they are like trying to hoard it. They're trying to hoard all of the spiritual knowledge unto themselves. So they entertain philosophy and religion, and then they only teach us math and science. They have a spatial perception, which means they are understanding the interconnectedness of everything. And then they only allow us order and pattern of which they create. They only want us to know an object name. And then if they name it, they give it the definition. They know the object function regardless the name or the definition. They entertain a fantasy-based reality, while they keep us constrained in a reality-based environment. And remember, they are manufacturing the reality. We only understand forms and strategies. They understand possibilities. They are impetuous, and impetuous means hasty, sudden, impulsive, or reckless, which means they are risk takers, while they make us think that we need to maintain practicality above all costs. We maintain this cautious, safe approach to life, while they themselves are the risk takers and the movers and shakers. The left brain function is linear, divergent, and focuses on one thing at a time. The right brain deals with emotions, feelings, creativity, and intuition. As you can see, my friends, they are trying to keep us down and brainwash us. That's it for now. I'll be back. Alright, welcome to another video. We're going to be talking about some very important information that it's pertinent with things that are about to take place. And what I'm here to do is to show you that in Revelation, the Bible has a perfect record of things that have transpired in the past and things that are about to transpire right before our eyes. And what we're talking about is the first and the second cup. Now, what are the first and the second cup? The cups are judgments. One of these judgments has already taken place, and we're going to talk about that a little further later. The second cup has not taken place, Both of these judgments are directly related to one location on earth. That location would be Babylon, but more importantly, commercial Babylon. There are two Babylons, and that is where most of the confusion is with people trying to understand these passages that I'm going to help you see more clearly today. So, to get into the information, we need to understand who is causing these judgments, and it's not who you think it is. It's not the Father in heaven. Now, the Father in heaven absolutely does have everything concerned within his total will, but what you will see here is that the kings of the earth are directly responsible for this destruction of the earth. So it is not our loving Father in heaven. He is coming to judge those who destroy the earth, but it is not him in his judgment that is causing this direct destruction. It is the kings of the earth, or otherwise known, the Illuminati. So let's read now and begin this understanding, and we're going to be reading from chapter 17, verse 12 through. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no power as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord and lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. Now let's look back this and see what we've got here. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet. Well, these 10 kings are to be referred to as those individuals who are conspiring for this new world order or global government. Now, there's more details here, but to keep it simple and to move forward, we're going to just topographically touch through the story. It says, which have received no kingdom as yet, means that at this point, they are not experiencing this global government or global rule to where they league themselves together or confederate themselves together to form this one world government. Which have received no kingdom as yet, they're waiting for something. And what they're waiting for is the fulfillment of the first and the second trumpets, which we'll talk about, and the final fulfillment of the first and the second cup itself, the millstone. And once these events take place, first and second cup, or first and second trumpet, and the second cup, then we will enter into this new world order. Then it says, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Well, after they have achieved whatever event it is to secure this new world order, which will be secured by terror, then it says that they do come into power, meaning this new world order. But this new world order is going to be short-lived, because the Bible declares that it shall only be for 1 hour. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Well, that is telling us that they are all secretly worshiping or following after one official philosophy or religion, and we know which one that is. Their main objective is once they bring this new world order into being, that they plan on immediately giving their power and their strength unto the beast, the Antichrist. I'll be back. Okay, welcome back. All right, so the next verse here, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. Now, of course, this is what is called Armageddon, or most people refer to as the Third World War, which is sometime ahead of us here in the future. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the Horus sitteth are peoples, multitudes, and nations, and tongues. All right, we need to focus right there for a minute. Okay, it's going to identify us in one way with New York City, which would be Ellis Island, where basically all the immigrants would have to come through to register. And of course, that would be the peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. But it also says something here where it says, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth. Now we're going to talk literal waters, okay, symbolic waters, which is where that Statue of Liberty is in the harbor there. And then we're also going to talk a figurative form of waters. And the reason why there are two forms here is because we have two Babylons in question. All right, and that's what we need to focus on. We need to understand that these kings of the earth are sacrificing commercial Babylon. They're offering commercial Babylon up. All right, and that is why New York City, i.e., where the second cup is fulfilled, and even where and why the first cup was fulfilled, which is the bringing down of the World Trade Centers. New York is commercial Babylon. It symbolically represents all that's wrong with the world today. It represents, New York is even called the Big Apple. Okay? So if you want to refer right now that apple back to that story in Genesis, when the serpent originally tempts man or tempts Eve with the apple, well, the apple symbolically is representing materialism. Now it has double meanings, but in this instance that's what it's meaning. That's how it's being represented. It's being material things over the spiritual things. So that's what's being offered up. So this is the main mystery Babylon cult that you're all familiar with. Everybody's familiar with this eye right here, which is the Eye of Ra, or the Eye of Horus, which absolutely translates to Lucifer, the light bearer. Now we have this on the seal of our great dollar bill, and it literally means Mystery Babylon. So this Mystery Babylon is that organization that has ruled the world from behind the scenes the entire time, from that point of entrance where the serpent offers or tempts man, and then of course man symbolically is shown taking the apple, which is what New York City is symbolically representing, that original apple, and then the full manifestation of the sin of taking that apple, of the materialism. And now New York itself is the materialization or the manifestation of that sin in its fullness. So as you can see, so what we have here is the Mystery Babylon is ecclesiastical Babylon, which means religious Babylon. But this religious Babylon is not like what you think, not the good religion. It's that mysterious occultic religion that has its roots in ancient Babylon, Samaria, with the Sumerian deities. So now you can see the two Babylons. We have the one that is behind the scenes, that has grown and fattened for the kill or the slaughter, commercial Babylon, which we'll talk about a little bit further. So let me read this little caption here. New York represents the total fulfillment of Genesis, where the serpent offers the apple, which in this symbolic sense is materialism. And of course, it being the first commerce. Now that's going to be important in the next few videos that we talk about. I'll be back.
Wake up.